Hi, if anyone's out there. I'll share the link here in a second. Oh my god. Where am I on here? Melee games. Is it even live? Here in a second.
Yeah,
oh my. Okay, there we go. We're back. We're back. We're back. We're back. Infinity camera. Okay. YouTube didn't like that. I don't know what to say besides YouTube didn't like that. So I have some emails to go through. We'll stop watching the dumb bitch. I think we got the point anyways. I don't know. I guess YouTube decided that it was maybe like BBC has it copyrighted, or I don't know if I can even find out. Like, the email isn't telling me anything. I guess I'll find out soon. Hi, Triss. Yeah, I got kicked off for watching that dumb bitch talk about misogyny. Yeah, we got like I think we got a strike. Whatever, I don't fucking care. Fuck you, YouTube. I don't know. What do you want me to say? You're gonna watch this now too and be like, oh yeah, we really hate them. Anyways. I'm not relaunching that video because I don't want to deal with that shit anymore, but holy fuck, that was ridiculous. Can I go on her blog, or are they gonna ban me from that too? Holy shit. James, if you want to retweet out the fucking, I don't know. A lot happened. Yeah. Stream suspended for policy violations, apparently. So, that's where we are. Oh my god, what is this? Oh my god, JT, thank you so much. Holy smokes, JT Epsilon just gifted 5 Melee Games memberships. Thank you so much, sir. To Amin Ra, Dragon Smoke 90, Smooth the DJ, Kendon Bronner, and Tomby. Thank you so much, JT. Sorry, I don't even know how to react to everything that just happened in the past few minutes. One sec. James is asking me what to do with this video. I guess we'll private it, I guess. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Like, if it's in their algorithm, so I don't know. It might just be but a copyright claim wouldn't stop the stream. We've had copyright claims before. So I don't know if this is going to transform into a strike or what. But let's see what the email says. Sorry guys, this is all on the fucking fly here. Because I'm just like confused. Yeah, stream unavailable, but on my end, the stream doesn't even populate in studio. Or anything. Thank you again, JT. You're fucking awesome. Thank you so much. It says restrictions none. So they just really didn't want me to stream that anymore. But I have no restrictions on the video right now. What? James, the only other thing I can advise is trimming out that part. Like, other than that, I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know. But YouTube is not like YouTube let me stream again right away, so it means we're still here, which is good, I guess. How's everyone's day going? How was that experience? How was that? That was a whole thing. And now I'm like losing emails here. Oh my god, why did it go by promotions in Gmail? Due to a copyright match, your stream was interrupted. Okay. Streams are interrupted when copyright content is detected. After copyright material is no longer being streamed, streams are automatically enabled. So, I guess we'll leave it for now, James. Don't worry about doing anything to it. If it becomes a problem, then I think there's like a process you can do where you go, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I won't do it again. Oh. So it's still up right now. Whatever. What the fuck, man? Okay. Let's read through chat. I'm sorry, guys. I don't have your other chat anymore because the fucking stream reset. So sorry if I missed some good comments there, but I hope you guys were enjoying that stream. And James, yeah, don't worry about that stream. Just leave it up, and then we'll deal with it later when I'm done streaming. In between streams, I suppose, because we're doing the community event tonight as well. But thanks everyone for coming back and finding the second stream. Holy shit, man. Holy shit. Trish says, Kay fighting for her life to keep men and characters off James and apparently the BBC. James says, Kay, what the fuck happened to you angering the entirety of Britain? I know, right? Now, I mean, it doesn't take much to anger Britain anyway, so there you go. Trish says, wait, you got kicked off? Yep, I got booted off for watching that dumb bitch. For the final purge clown, exactly. BD Jake says, if you got a strike, you'd have the email, see it in your channel settings, and you wouldn't be able to stream for 7 days. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they just didn't want me to finish the video. Maybe they pulled it down before they're like, well, we won't strike you yet. Who fucking knows. Dude says, probably because of all the hate speech in the video. And before the stream came down, I did see you say something about Rumble exclusive. I wish this computer could handle it. The problem is that Rumble just doesn't understand how to resource manage, or else I would just do a Rumble exclusive on this computer. Last time I tried doing a Rumble exclusive on this computer, it literally failed. It didn't work. So Shaka says, Melee K is a phoenix. I'm Jean Grey. I'm going to go like this. I'm important. And then I'm just going to drop in the water. Jake says, seeing how the sausage is made, folks. Yeah, we're doing... look, I'm just myself regardless. You're not going to get anything else that's more interesting than that. So I'm going to do shit on the fly like that. Like, whatever. JT says, yep. When I become rich, I'll make sure everyone gets a membership. You're too kind, man. Don't worry about it. But thank you so much for being so generous. We really appreciate it. Thank you again for the 5 gifted memberships and for everything else too, man. Shaka Zulu says, silence brown women. Exactly. And Jake says, this sounds like the stream was mass flagged if YouTube didn't say anything. Yeah, I don't know. I got one email saying it was pulled, but like... nothing about a strike or a claim or anything. So, and yeah, JT says, I thought you could play a video and react to it without copyright infringement. This is the whole fucking thing. Aren't there people that make careers off of this shit? I'm just watching like one video. We barely ever do this kind of stuff on this channel. So Jake says TEDx videos are open to streaming. It has terms on TED's website. What? So TEDx doesn't care? If anyone has information on that, let me know or send it to me and I can look into it later. It's all fucking it's all fucking weird. Should we go read her website? I mean, are they going to take me down for reading a website? I guess we can fucking find out. Chat, I guess let me know either here or in Discord. By the way, there was a whole playlist I wanted to show. There's literally a whole fucking playlist of her talking. I don't know if it's all her talking, but there's like a Julia TED Talks playlist, so we're not going to look at that, I guess. Let's look at Misogyny Monday. There we go. Sure, take my cookies, I don't care. Julia Hardy's Misogyny Monday. Yeah, this is going to be fun, guys. This is going to be fun. I guess we'll just read through this instead. This is from gamesindustry.biz. Julia Hardy's Misogyny Monday, how to get the most of your online sexist abuse. Go back to the kitchen and make me a sandwich. Well, if she's watching, she might try to claim this too. Well, let's find out. If this pulls down again, then it really doesn't make sense. Julia Hardy, I would eviscerate you. I'd like to finger the fuck out of you. I've got that perfect thing to fill that mouth. These aren't quotes from 50 Shades of Grey. Shut up, I don't want your notifications. These aren't quotes from 50 Shades of Grey. These are some of the messages I've received over social media. Some even from Facebook, the unsexiest, the most vanilla and missionary style social media portal you can find. You might wonder why I would receive such things. I am wondering why. I'm wondering why. Well, I'm not a model or one of those girls who take selfies of myself in my pants. Unless it's for laughs, I'm just a woman in what might be described as generally a man's world, the world of video games. I'm in a man's world where I get pulled down for watching YouTube videos, apparently. So that's what's going on here. Being a video game presenter and female. Whoa. Being female's hard, guys. It's fucking hard out here, fucking being a female. It's been an interesting experience. Fantastic in so many ways, but quite disturbing in others. This all began when I hosted a little-known video game show called Game Face on UK satellite channel Bravo. I'd been hired for 2 reasons. I could present, and I knew about video games. I wanted to ask her on Twitter, like, what games are you playing? But I did see that she was tweeting out some games, so she is playing games. But I'm always curious, what games are you playing? You know? I was over the moon. Finally, my nerdy pastime could be used to actually get a job instead of preventing me from getting one. What? Finally, my nerdy pastime could be used to actually get a job instead of preventing me from getting one. Okay. Motivating yourself to get anything done as a freelancer is hard enough without having consoles to tempt you into their delicious couch oblivion. I mean, that's fair. We all game a little bit, you know. Game Face was pretty simple. It was a pretty simple show, green screened, auto cued with links to camera throwing to the reviews of the week. Initially, everything had to be very heavily scripted and timed, a little frustrating as you are unable to put a bit of you into the show, but it was early days and all shows go through a process of trial and error. As the series went on, I was able to do little rants about games. I'd been playing I've been playing or things that had been happening in the gaming world that week. Jake says, found it, DM'd it on Discord. Let me see what's going on here. 1 second, Jake. Don't worry, I won't show you DMs here. Yeah, so Jake says, under personal use commercial, I believe, since Melee Games monetize, NC means you cannot use TED Talks in any commercial context or to gain any type of revenue payment or fee from the license, sub-license, access, or usage of TED Talks in an app of any kind for any advertising or in exchange for payment of any kind, including in any ad-supported content or format. What's interesting, though, is that we're not even fully monetized, so I would have gotten 0 ad revenue regardless. The only thing that would have been is, like, if super chats or something happened, but, like, we're not even monetized. Like, we don't have 1,000 people following us on YouTube, so we're not even fully monetized. We don't have ad revenue yet, so maybe that's why I didn't get a strike, because they were like, well, they're not making ad revenue regardless. I don't fucking know. I don't know if it was an auto detection. I don't know if it's a report, whatever it is. If it was a report, which I don't really feel, I feel it probably was just an auto flag. I hope you're watching this one too. That's what I gotta say to you guys. If you're fucking reporting me, watch this one too. And keep watching us. Trust me. You're gonna hear a lot from me, so. Thank you, Jake, for sending that to me, by the way. Jake says, if you're accepting donations, that's in YouTube's TOS. That's probably why. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It's okay. Well, regardless, the rules are stupid on YouTube. That's what I'll say. Game Face was a pretty simple show. Yeah, okay, yeah. As the series went on, I was able to do little rants about games I'd been playing or things that had been happening in the gaming world that week. It was nice to be able to express myself, as really getting to connect with people is why I love my job. I remember going to read online what people first thought of the show. Yeah, I know. But I really was interested to see what people thought and wanted to look for ways to improve it or myself. I read so much more about me than anyone should, but my goodness, it's like picking a scab. You know, it's stupid, disgusting, and a bit destructive, but you're going to do it anyway. Aside from people critiquing the format, what really struck me were the comments asking how could I possibly know what the heck I'm talking about? I mean, how could I, right? Oh my God. Jake says plus paid memberships. Yeah, it could be that. Like, it could be just the fact that there's any monetization at all on this channel, even though like I had, like, through YouTube's eyes at least, because we had some stream elements. We didn't have anything on YouTube, which, guys, I'm just saying that as a fact. I'm not saying it any other way. Like, maybe, like, YouTube shouldn't care because nothing sent through YouTube. I don't know. By the way, I'm very grateful for you guys even hanging out. Don't ever feel like you have to send a penny or anything. We're just happy to have this community and to be building something special. So thank you for being here. But yeah, YouTube shouldn't like, I was making $0 on that stream in YouTube's eyes, so it makes no sense, but whatever. Whatever, it doesn't have to make sense. I remember going on, okay. You might wonder as to whether these were in fact sexist comments. Why would I assume that you're making like a video, like, why would I assume that you're getting sexist comments? Why would I assume that? Like, we've had this community on the streaming side. Like, I say, I specify it because I've worked on Melee games a lot longer. It's something I created a while ago, and there's, you know, a store and all this kind of stuff. But the streaming side has been almost a year. We're going to be celebrating that soon. And I don't hop on stream bracing myself for sexist comments. I'm not worried about it. And if they do happen in jest, I will find them funny. And if someone is serious about it, I will find it funny. Because I don't need someone to validate my gender. I don't care if someone says, oh, you fucking woman, get back in the kitchen. My response is usually, what kind of sandwich should I make? Because I've only got, you know, a certain amount of toppings in the fridge. So, like, maybe you want to help me out. So, there's, like, why would you assume that there's going to be sexist comments? And why would I assume as the reader that you're getting sexist comments? That's what I'm just trying to understand. I don't know. Ask yourself, does this happen to men too? Yeah, I mean, men get negative comments too. I don't understand this angle. Like, men trash talk each other all the time, and then women end up in the space where men are trash talking each other. And then it's that, like, thing where you drop your own ice cream and you're, like, crying over it and you blame the other person. Like, if I'm getting into a lobby with a bunch of dudes or whatever it might be, whatever context I'm doing, is like, I don't take it personally if females, males, whatever, are insulting each other or insulting me. It's just all banter. So, yes, men get the insults too. I would argue that men are more aggressive with each other because like, men tend to worry about women's feelings, and they know that women can sometimes be more emotional about things. So they don't want to hurt their feelings over it. Oh, God. It's a good rule of thumb. And generally, when it comes to video games, it does not. Lots of men get negative comments in video games. What are you saying? If it's not the journalists fucking making up shit, or fucking content creators, or game companies making up shit, even if, like, it happens all the fucking time. Even just on a banter basis, people dig into each other all the time. So it just doesn't fucking, yeah. I really like what Jake said here. Men attack at the front and bond over it. Women attack at the back and grow apart from it. It's our nature. That is 110% my belief too. I think that women can be extremely catty, and I think we're having an epidemic now where men are starting to act like women and do the same tactics. And I will make fun of those men because you're petty and you're a bitch pretty much for acting like that, for acting catty, for doing all that back-end manipulative shit. I like hanging out with guys because it's very simple. We talk straight to each other, you know? Like, if we have a problem, we talk it out, and that's it. We laugh at each other, it's over. I don't worry about it. Half the females that have issues with me, or the men that act like females, they'll be like, yeah, no, we're fine, we're totally fine, we're great, everything's so great, we're totally good. And then the next day they're talking behind my back, or they're acting differently towards me. What I love about my guy friends is if we have a problem, they'll just tell me to my fucking face, and maybe that's why I'm that way too. I think people find me a bit abrasive sometimes because when I have a problem with something, or when I think something or I feel something, I just say it, and then it's put to rest for me. I don't think about it tomorrow. I'm not like, I didn't like how you did this, and I think about it and I try to be vindictive. I don't feel that way. I'm just kind of like, look, that rubbed me the wrong way. This is what I think. And then I move on. And I feel like that's how people should try to act because it makes life a lot easier. And ultimately, it's just a more peaceful way to go. But I will always make fun of the men who act like women who do these insidious tactics. I don't have a better word, insidious. Sorry. I'm not talking about insidious bliss. I just think it's sad. So yeah, Jake, I think that's very well said. I think it's very, very well said. Shakazulu says, usually men heckle and women seek to ruin each other. Absolutely. Absolutely. And Cult to Carl says, same, but if you are a coward, I troll you. Yeah. I troll people for a reason. They can't fucking handle it. Jannies must be trolled. Exactly, Cult to Carl. So, I don't know. I'm just of the belief, and I actually really liked what Lady Desiree said about, like, being nice versus being kind, because I think that kind of resonated with me as well, is, like, you can be kind to someone by being honest and saying something they don't want to hear. Or you can be nice, and then they don't understand anything that's festering underneath that could even turn into a bigger problem. So, you know, like I said, guys, you always get, like, my honest thing, for better or for worse, and people get offended by that sometimes, and I understand that, and that's okay. I accept that, but I feel a personal responsibility to just speak my mind, and it doesn't mean I dislike you or anything. I just, if something rubs me the wrong way, I'm going to say it. If I like something, I'm going to say it, and I think that is better in some ways, because you know that when I'm complimenting you, I'm not just saying it either. And I think that's important. I think a lot of people end up in situations with a lot of women or people or men that are too afraid to hurt feelings, and then they don't hear the truth from that person. So when you get a compliment as well, it's like, is this actually a compliment or not? So that's how I operate my life. I know it's a bit of a tangent off topic, but I just don't like all the assumptions that this woman is making right away, you know, and I just think it's counteractive to, like, the human condition. I think we do better as a society when we're authentic with ourselves and we accept that we're not perfect people, and we're okay with, you know, knocks against us, and we can laugh at ourselves. And I feel like this attitude really is a shelter. It's like a protection bubble, because people feel insecure about themselves, and they really shouldn't. They really fucking shouldn't. So, Fracture says, hello, saw, it's cut off, but twat got the Spurgs ring. I do, or I don't even know what's going on. I don't know if I got auto flagged off YouTube. I don't know if Twitter, I don't know anything that's going on. I'm just streaming. I'm just laughing at people on the internet. Professor Savage says, we will not stop fighting. Hell yeah. All we were doing before this, for anyone who's hopping in now, is if you remember the lady who said the whole thing about wanting to clean out gaming, or whatever it was, the term, I'm losing the term at this point. But she pretty much was saying, like, can we just, like, get rid of all these dudes, and that Julia person? So I was watching a TEDx talk that I found of her from 7 years ago, and the stream suddenly shut down. To my knowledge, we don't have a strike on our channel, because I was able to stream right away again. And yeah, I don't know if somebody flagged it. I don't know if it was a YouTube auto system, but either way, I'm back on, and now we're looking at her blog instead, because I don't know if it was an auto flag of the audio. So we'll see. Chuck Jose's channels here. Hello, and says, I support Gamergate too. Well, welcome to the channel. And Professor Savage Dad says, the young, intelligent, beautiful, and amazing melee charisma, you have my sword. Well, thank you, Professor Savage Dad. I appreciate you, and I appreciate the compliments. Wait, so Fractured, update me. Are people spurging at me right now? Because I have not looked at my notifications. I see I have 33 notifications. You guys can see up there. And we've been chatting this whole time. We've been hanging out. So let me know if I've offended somebody and I'm missing out on stuff right now. Anyways, back to this person. So yeah, anyways, that's my philosophy on life. I really try to keep it, I don't want to sound gay. I try to keep it 100, I guess is the term that a lot of youngsters would say. I just think it's better to stay honest with your opinions. That's what I think. And sometimes that means it's going to hurt some people, but it helps people grow too. Thank you for the follow, Elsie Parker. Welcome. Thank you so much. Oh my God. Oh, Fractured said, no, I just saw James' Twitter post about the stream getting dropped and then came back. Yeah, it's a whole thing. Call to Carl says, also, Kay, she calls herself non-binary now. Yeah, that's a whole other fucking thing. I gotta be careful in Canada saying too much. But yeah, she's apparently non-binary now, whatever that means. Fractured says, might have been because of TED Talk, but I saw that rather presumptuous rant saying she can get rid of any of us. This'll be fun. Who knows? Who knows? Jake sent me some information on TED Talks. we're not allowed to monetize on TED Talks based on what we're reading. So potentially, because we're partially monetized, which we're not even fully monetized. I'm not at 1,000 on this channel yet, so we're not getting ad revenue. And we didn't get any super chats today either on like YouTube side, at least. So we weren't getting a penny for doing this stream with that. So I don't know, like, if YouTube flagged it because we're partially monetized, so it's treating us like we're fully monetized, or what it is. I don't fucking know. Like I said, I'm just going to keep talking, and I'm going to keep exposing this shit. Whatever platform wants to take me down for it, you can fucking take me down. I'm just going to go on a different fucking platform. You're not going to shut me up. I've been at this for 10 fucking years talking about the garbage that you're trying to push down our throats. This is not going to stop me. So I still want to build a nice, wholesome gaming community where we can all just play games together and enjoy this fucking industry. But I also want to point out this shit so that we can protect this industry and keep doing this. So that is partially why I'm even talking about all of this. Normally, I would just do this in my personal time, but I think it's so important for us to be vocal and point out what's going wrong, too. So I'm on a tangent. Let's keep reading this dumb fucking article, man. Holy fuck, these people. Ask yourself, does this happen to men, too? Yes. And generally, when it comes to video games, it does not. Yes, it does. I knew other male presenters who worked for various other outfits, and not once were their credentials ever questioned, even the ones who knew less than nothing about it. Yet here I am giving personal reflections on games I had actually played, and somehow what I said wasn't worthy, or someone had written it for me. I had no right to comment on such things and should clearly keep quiet. Where are all these assumptions coming from? That's what I'm still trying to understand from this woman. And by the way, thank you everyone for hanging out with us today. I'm just glad that you're here. And let's keep exposing this shit. Really, the subtle sexism was just the tip of the iceberg. Subtle quickly came and went and left behind overt misogyny. I'm not sure what is worse, outright in your face women hating, or the subtle endemic slow chip sexism. What does that mean? Hidden as fact. That is far more abundant than we realize. Someone said to her, she can move my knob. And she replied, where to? Is it somewhere sunny? Like, you're not funny at all. Woman, you're not funny at all. Seriously. One weekend on Sky News, paper reviews with Ian Lee, I got a barrage of tweets from a chap who went on and on about how he hated my ears. Nothing about what I had been arguing about or debating on the show. My ears. Yeah, well, I've fucking gotten comments about all sorts of things. The fucking community manager of Running with Scissors called me a fat bitch, and I'm not crying about it. I laughed at him, and then he said, I'm gonna fight you in Portugal or some shit. I don't even fucking remember. I think he was like, come to Portugal and talk to my face. And then I laughed at him some more. I wasn't questioning why he called me a fat bitch. I don't care if he calls me a fat bitch. I was laughing at the fact that the guy who's the community manager of Running with Scissors, the fucking people that make Postal, was getting offended by me. That's the funny part. Not, oh no, he made fun of my ears. Oh God. Oh no. Does anyone ever comment on your appearance when you're on TV? Ian smiled and said, no, of course not. I'm a man. People comment on everyone. It's just, we're people, like, people are naturally observant, okay? And they're gonna comment on fucking anything. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't define who you are if you have big ears or a little nose or whatever fucking else you want to say. If you're fat, if you're skinny, if you're a woman, man, whatever. Like, people just point shit out because it's funny. Jake says, wait, Running with Scissors was butthurt? Seriously? Have they played their own games? Oh man, Jake, you have missed some stuff. Yeah, so this happened, I want to say a month ago at this point. I'm not sure, but I can summarize it for you. There's also a video if you just want to watch James and I laughing for like 3 hours. But essentially what happened was there's this like account. By the way, thank you everyone for listening to my tangents that go off the rails. I know I can be schizo with this stuff. There was an account. Do you know those accounts that go like, this is what you would look like if you were black or Chinese. And they just take a photo of somebody and then they just like Photoshop them to look black and Chinese. So there's pretty much an account like that. But it specifically goes, your character is transphobic kind of thing. So it'll be like, oh, Simba from The Lion King is transphobic. And it's just an account that pumps it out constantly, right? So it's like every character. Oh, Aladdin is transphobic. Oh, I don't know, the Minecraft guy, Steve or whatever, he's transphobic. So the account tweets out, Postal Dude is transphobic. And the community manager replies to that and is like doubling down essentially to say, no, he's not transphobic. And so a bunch of people were like, that's fucking weird. He's the Postal Dude. Like, he attacks everyone. Like, he discriminates against everyone, essentially. Like, that's the whole thing. And so James and I found this story and we decided to talk about it on our show, on our podcast. And so, no, Jake, you're fine. Don't worry. I don't mind. It's funny to relive because it just feels like we're in such a weird reality. So what do you call it? James and I do our Melee Madness podcast, as we always do every, 2 Thursdays a month. And we cover a bunch of stuff. And this was like one news story in like, I don't know, 10 stories, 20 stories. And so we're kind of like, oh, that's weird. And we start looking through like Running with Scissors, like public account and whatever, and their website to figure out like where this is stemming from, because it was really bizarre. So we're like looking on their website. There was some people bringing up there's like a person that's trans at the company. So James was kind of talking a little bit about that. And then I'm looking at the website and it says the community manager, I can even find it. If it's still even up, Running with Scissors. Sorry guys, 1 second. Yeah, so under About Team, I'm 17 at least. Thank you. Okay, you go to their team page, right? I don't know if he's changed this. It'll be funny if he did. No, he didn't. Okay. Pedro is the community manager. And it says, Pedro from Portugal loves the cock, and that's why we love him. So I make an off comment, like totally just like very casual, not even thinking about it or meaning anything with it. I'm like, oh, he's gay. Cool. Maybe that's why he's a little more sensitive to transphobia or whatever. I don't know. That's all I said. So the next day, we post the podcast episode, as we always do. We always post the next day and say, hey, like last night we were, we did the stream, and we tag like some of the top stories. So like, oh, we talked about, like Cabrutus. I think that might even been the day we talked about Cabrutus's Steam curator page. And then we tagged Cabrutus, we tagged Order Us, which was that game that got banned off Steam. And we tag, what's it called? Running with Scissors. And in the title, you can't even tell that we're saying anything negative about Running with Scissors. We're just saying absolute state, which I guess could be taken if you are an internet person enough. Sorry if you guys hear the sirens in the background. It's the police coming after me for hate speech. So the Running with Scissors official account replies and says, your podcast sucks ass. The official account. So we're fucking crying laughing. It's like the best thing ever to me, right? And I touched a sleeper mine. Oh no, what does that mean? Uh-oh. But yeah, so we're laughing at this point. And then he uses his personal account to start getting mad at my personal account. And is like, by the way, I'm not gay. And I'm like, okay, I thought you were gay because the website says you love cock. And I get that it's a joke because you're running with scissors, so you make jokes. But I wasn't like, oh, he must be gay and blah, blah, blah. I just said, oh, I guess he's gay. Like, what else would I assume from it? He loves cock, right? So we're going back and forth and whatever, and he's just getting super, super, super mad. Super mad. And whatever. So we're just laughing at it. Then the next day, or like a few days later, and I might be remembering the timeline wrong, but I get a message from MacBeef in our Discord, and he says, oh, he's talking about you in Discord. And I was like, what? So in the official Running with Scissors Discord, he made a comment. But I was in their Discord, actually, so I was able to scroll through and find stuff. And I found out that he was, like, posting photos of me and calling me a fat bitch and calling James an inbred cunt and all this kind of stuff, getting super mad. And then he was making a statement saying, like, oh, they need to come to Portugal and talk to me in person. So we keep making the joke of, like, fight me in Portugal, bitch, and all this shit, right? Because it's fucking funny. And he accused us of harassing him. Keep in mind, we are a podcast, which at the time, I think we just hit monetization. Like, I think that was literally, like, right as we hit 500 people following us. And that stream had, like, maybe 50 views. And by the end of that, now it's almost, like, 250 views. And then we also went on Side Scrollers to talk about the story a bit, too, a few weeks ago, right? That the episode I went on to talk about, I ended up talking about Gamergate with, like, a bunch of people that, like, Monday or whatever. That was, like, a huge stream. Running with Scissors was one of the stories that we were going to talk about that day. And then, obviously, all this other stuff came up. So we ended up coming on the show again and talking about it, like, a few days later. But that's what happened. And then, eventually, he sent me an apology in a DM being, like, wish you the best. Like, super, like, generic. So, yeah, Running with Scissors is really salty. They also kicked me from their Discord like 2 weeks ago. Yeah, the 4-hour stream. Yeah. So that's the Running with Scissors lore for anyone who missed it, who's new to the channel. It was quite a trip. We managed to offend the team behind Postal, of all things. That is the lore behind my comments. Anyways, Pedro, I'm not going to fight you in Portugal, and I'm not bringing my purse to Portugal if I ever show up there. Yeah. Anyways, back to this woman. One weekend on Sky News, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay, anyways. How right he was. Being female means that it's not just what you say that's up for discussion. It's who you are, who you were, what you look like, what you're wearing, who you had sex with, what you said flippantly 2 months ago, and whether your audience would kindly consider fucking you if they had the chance. That is the hot topic, FYI. That's a lot of things to factor in when it's what you're saying that should really be the thing up for debate. But of course not. I'm female. So it's my shoes that are important, as I discovered on another Sky News slot. Seriously, she'd be half the height without those shoes. Yes, honey, they're heels. It's kind of the point. Never mind the fact that I strapped a Sky News presenter into Oculus Rift to play Eve Valkyrie on a screen the size of a house. You're talking about my shoes. That's what caught your imagination. I don't understand why you're just, like, so bothered by them making comments. Like, you're the one taking it out of proportion. Also, hello, Fallen Angel. Sorry, I should have been catching up on chat in between this. Fallen Angel says, all right, I'm here. I saw there was some homosexuality going on X. What's up? My previous stream got taken down because I was watching this woman do a TEDx talk. I don't know why. I don't know if we got flagged. I don't know if it was an auto flag, what it was, but that's what happened. And yeah. Yeah, that's what's going on. Fall Angel says, could have fooled me. He acted pretty gay. Exactly. And Fall Angel says, the common factor of all of these people is fatherless behavior. Prove me wrong. I completely agree. Jake says, what the fuck? Holy shit, this is going so much farther than I anticipated. Well, I metaphorically piss on him as a postal dude would be proud doing. Yeah, that it was a trip. Like I said, we could always talk about it again, but it was funny, and we had it, like, we streamed so much of it too, and you can see us just laughing at this fucking guy. What is James tweeting? I'm just seeing my phone go off nonstop. What's happening here? All right. Well, anyways, I don't want to stall the stream with my dead air, so. Lord, okay. Back to this woman. Should we read a little anecdote about Misogyny Monday? Misogyny Monday is a blog that takes all the thoroughly inappropriate comments I get online and reappropriates them for my own amusement. Well, whilst I have been getting terrible comments for years online, like most women, I think everyone gets bad comments online, but, you know, like, again, it's how you perceive it. Like, you don't need to make it a big deal. Didn't start the blog until last year after I kept sending them to my friends and they found them funny. So I thought, why not pull as many as I can find into one giant blog? I have been thinking about expanding and taking requests from women so I can, as a free service, provide them with smart arse One-liners to reply with. If there are any women out there, email me your terrible comments and I'll write responses. Her comedy is not funny. Her comedy is not fucking funny at all. I don't even understand. I don't understand. Like, she's got, like, worse than Amy Schumer. I think I'd rather listen to Amy Schumer than this woman at this point. These first instances of online abuse really knocked me back. It's a horrible feeling to feel like someone hates you for being you. And that's what it feels like. I'm not an actress, and people aren't just critiquing my work and saying they dislike it. When you're a presenter, it's you they don't like. Welcome to the public eye, where everyone criticizes everything. Okay, get over it. What you see on screen is who I am in my normal life. If they don't like that person, then they don't like you. It was a pretty depressing time. I guess no one... Why do you care about what other people think about you? This is the number one thing. Why do you fucking care? I don't care if people don't like me or they like... I'm happy if people like me. Thank you for liking me. If you don't like me, I don't care. I'm sorry. But I'm also, in the same vein, I don't obsess over people liking me either. Like, and when I say I don't care if people like me, it's more like, it's okay if you don't. I'm happy if you do. I'm grateful. If you don't like me, cool. You don't have to. People don't mesh together all the time, right? So it's fine. Hey, yeah. I feel like she's just, like, rambling nonstop. Okay, we can keep reading this, but after this, I'm done with this woman because she's just, like, annoying. She's really fucking annoying. Oh my god. Okay. What you see on screen is who I am in my normal life. If they don't like that person, then they don't like you. Okay, that's fine. Do you like yourself? Maybe you should work on that. I guess no one should really know just what people think about who they are, or just how much fear and hatred it seemed there was towards women. I guess no one should really know just what people think about who they are. I'm fine. I don't know. Maybe this is just a me thing, but I like knowing what people think about me just so I know. Maybe it's a learning experience. Maybe I'm doing something and 10 people have the same feedback and I go, okay, maybe this is something I should think about. And is this something that I want to change, or is this just who I am and I accept that, and I accept that people might not like me for it? I think it's good to know, right? Like, I think having people's insight is great. It doesn't mean you have to take it personally and sit there and cry over it or have it determine who you are or anything. But just as much as, like, I don't care what people think of me, it's nice to know as well, because then you can go, oh, hey, yeah, maybe I am saying something that's rubbing people the wrong way, but I don't realize it because of the way that I'm saying it or whatever. You know, like, we're humans. We're all learning every day. So... you shouldn't shield yourself from what people think, in my opinion. Anyways, yeah. We hate women, blah, blah, blah. Okay, anyways. Maybe some things are better left to ignorance. All right, well, you can live in ignorance. Have fun. I spent an age... Oh, I see. I spent an age arguing with people online, mainly as I felt the need to justify myself and stand up for the show. Plus, most of their arguments were so crudely constructed, I knew I could win. I wanted to win and show them up for the idiots I felt they were. Anyone who's ever gotten into some serious Twitter rows knows just how draining it can be. You are so angry, so het up, and so on winning. You're strapped to your phone in a perpetual state of anger-related stress issues. It's not healthy. I'm not surprised I didn't collapse from overdosing on my own cortisol. This went on for quite a while. Whilst I won a lot of these arguments, it never really seemed worth it for all the stress it created. Days of feeling angry and sad and running things over in my mind just didn't justify beating some idiot on Twitter. Don't get me wrong, I like winning arguments, but not when they are always about how shit you are or how you should shut the fuck up. Everyone told me, don't feed the trolls, leave them be. It's not worth it. After a time, I decided that perhaps people had the right idea. All the stress, why don't I just ignore them so they'll go away? Like... yeah, just ignore it. If it's bothering you this much, just fucking, like Jake said, just put the phone down. Jesus. And Fallen Angel says, what are you saying? You're saying a bunch here. All of these Stacy's going with the Chads. Gamers rise up. And we need Adam Worski to repeat his feat of Hasbro unto Sweet Baby. As a great man once said, it's all so tiresome. Also, Professor Savage Dad is saying, arise, arise, riders of Gamergate, fell deeds awake, reeing and coping, consoles shall be shaken, controllers shall be shattered. a game day. Oh my god, I'm sorry, I'm retarded at reading. A game day, a Steam sale day, air the PC boots up, game now. I feel like you would have done better deliveries, Savage Dad, but that's amazing. And Jake says, I remember when this was still active, but I can't believe she basically is just doing the same thing now. I know. I didn't, to be honest with you, me kind of digging through all this stuff last night was kind of the first I looked at this. A little bit this morning, I guess. It was like 4 or 5 in the morning. Omega says, I think she's trapped in a group of friends that guilt each other to follow these beliefs, and so she can't back away if she puts it down, would likely hurt her career-wise because of coworkers. Yeah, I completely agree with this, and I think this is what a lot of people are going through. I was on, I got my brain, Words of Paradise's channel yesterday, shout out to him, and we were on a panel talking about some of this stuff, and I brought this up too, a similar point, because Sam Winkler, I want to say, the guy who's writing for Borderlands 3, did this whole thing, and then he got mad, and it was a whole fucking thing. But he wouldn't listen to the other side. So I kind of view it as like, if you're so afraid to even hear the other side, maybe you're afraid of your stuff being changed, like your opinion being changed. And then maybe that also can mean that you're afraid that if your opinion changes, you might not have the same friends anymore. Because a lot of these people work in a cultist type mentality. You're either with us or against us. And it's way more healthy to facilitate conversations on all sides. That's how you learn the best, right? But I think a lot of these people are afraid that if they even slightly fall out of line, that these people will not be their friends anymore. They'll lose everything. So they tend to just keep doubling, tripling down. Shaka Zulu says, we ride. Angry Canadian says, what's up? Didn't even realize you were live. I was live and then I got taken down. Now I'm back up. And then I'm going to be ending the stream, I guess, in an hour because James is going to be live again at 7 p.m. PST. So there's a lot. We're live a lot today, I guess. All right, let's get through this lady's stupid story. Yeah, leave the trolls alone, blah, blah, blah. The messages kept coming in, but I just kept pretending they didn't. Self-induced ignorance, well, denial. And I was content for a while, but something kept nagging in the back of my mind. I am a woman, and my superpower... I am a woman, and my superpower, the one thing I can use against ignorance and injustice, is silence. Wait, this sounds like the TEDx talk. Like, I could have literally just read this, and this is literally the TEDx talk. That is the crappiest superpower I've ever heard of. All of your boss battles would be you hiding in a cupboard waiting for evil to get bored and go make a sandwich. Not sure you'd sell that many comics based on those skills. Ma'am, I think you just made the sexist joke there. I think you just made it. You're complaining that people are being sexist towards you. I think you're the one that just made the comment. You said the quiet part out loud. Oh my god, how much longer do you rant in your fucking journal, you dumb bitch? My god. I was at a stage where I needed to find a way to be okay with this. I needed to be able to read nasty things online and not let it ruin how I feel or question who I am. Yeah. I needed to find a way to answer back on my terms and feel like in some way I'm affecting a change instead of just ignoring it. It was then I decided to take a new approach. I still wanted to win arguments, but I didn't want it to affect my daily life. This is how Misogyny Monday was born, a blog that takes all thoroughly inappropriate comments I get online and reappropriates them for my own amusement. I had paid attention to the interactions I'd seen online from staunch feminists, and one thing I noticed was that when people really pushed a feminist agenda, no matter how right they were, it seemed to enrage some people all the more so. So I thought that perhaps sometimes we should respond to these moronic fools with something equally as jokey, equally as throwaway, and equally as offensive. Well, the thing is, you say that you're joking, but you're like obsessing over it. That, like, to me, that tells me you don't take it as a joke. Didn't happen overnight. Some of my first responses were long, and I found that the shorter and more smart arst I wrote, you're not smart. Who uses arst? I hate the word arst. You're not funny, and you're not smart. I'm sorry. I don't want to be mean to you, but like, you're not. People always ask me why I removed their names before posting the comments. The reason is that I had seen firsthand friends of mine naming and shaming people on Twitter, and it always struck me as a bit petty and reactionary. For me to really rise above it and enjoy the process, I needed to not be about revenge. Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with you blanking out the names, whatever. If you want to show them, I don't know. I guess. It seemed a waste of time to try and educate that one person who will probably never change their mind anyway. It's about showing everyone else what is acceptable behavior, and for that, I don't need their name. Since then, I have actually weirdly enjoyed getting sex. Since then, I have actually weirdly enjoyed getting sexist comments as I revel in thinking up stupid retorts. Well, there it is, folks. There it is. This right here. Since then, I have actually weirdly enjoyed getting sexist comments as I revel in thinking up stupid retorts. So in other words, you want this because it gains you attention and something to do, and you enjoy being a victim. You enjoy being a victim. Why would you welcome them like this? It's actually pretty cathartic. Plus, when you see the response it gets from people online, you know you're doing the right thing. So many men have messaged me in disbelief that people would dare to send such inappropriate remarks, and that's what is important to note. Most men never see this happen. They simply can't understand why women get so damn pissed off. They haven't had years of this kind of interaction to really understand why we know sexism is still prevalent, and that's okay. This is why I want to show people that these kinds of things happen all the time. Then perhaps they will just be shocked as we are and do something about it too. I need to go back to this part because since then, I've actually weirdly enjoyed getting sexist comments as I revel in thinking up stupid retorts. The thing is now let's apply this to a modern situation where she's making tweets about how we need to get rid of gamers, we're trying to build a positive community, all this kind of stuff. The truth is that she wants the reactionary content, which is very well proven in this statement. So she wants this attention. Thank you, Retcon, for subscribing to the channel. She wants this attention. So she's going to keep stoking the flames is what I'm trying to say here. Because she likes that everyone is up in arms going after her. It gives her something to do. She's getting her dopamine hit. Exactly what Fractured said. She's getting her dopamine from her social media shit. Exactly. Let me take a sip of my drink so I don't sound all like scratchy and weird. Strawberries are floating. That's weird. What else are you up to, chat? Shaka Zulu says unblank them or they aren't real to me. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The thing is, it's just all dumb either way. Like, she's just farming it for content, so I don't really care if she has it or not. And yeah, I can understand that. You want proof, right? Like, I always say show evidence. So yeah, I would agree. Show it. Either way, I'm laughing at you for reacting like this to them and trying to be a smartass about it. So, yep. I don't know. JT Epsilon says, you guys tried the spiced Coca-Cola, right? We have Coke Zero spiked one or spiced one or whatever. I don't like it. It has a weird taste to it. I'm becoming a Pepsi fan for some reason. I like Nitro Pepsi, man. It's so good. And we don't even have it in Canada. I have to like get it imported. It's a whole thing. But there's like corner stores and stuff that will do them now, thankfully. So it's a little bit easier. But yeah, I like Nitro Pepsi. Fracture says this woman is unhinged for sure. Jake is saying this is narcissism. Omega says they are getting off on it. Yeah, exactly. And Jake says this is textbook narcissism, like you said. Yeah. So this to me, this statement says it all. She wants this, right? And I'm sorry, but I kind of categorize Alyssa McCartney in the same category. The fact that she's just constantly talking on Twitter, drumming up this attention. You know, there's just something about the way that she, like, Alyssa McCartney is constantly going after these hit pieces. Julia Hardy, whatever she wants to call herself, Jules. She's constantly like being incendiary, and then like she started being incendiary, I should say. And she's now admitted to enjoying this kind of stuff in the past. So this is why I like to let free speech reign. I want people to speak because you learn this kind of stuff when you let them speak. So keep writing your journals, you dumb bitch. Oh my god. Where was I with this? It's just insane. What's really funny is that some of these guys aren't even trying to intimidate me. They're reaching out and saying, "Hi, I really like you," albeit by saying it through the medium of asking me to have sex with them. Yes, men are horny. We get it. We get it. Men are horny. Who cares? Men are visual creatures. Women care more about all the other fluffy gay shit. It's fine. Like, don't take it so seriously. Oh my god, JT Epsilon, super chat of $5 saying, for the Pepsi Nitro lovers, thank you, man. Yes, I love my Nitro Pepsi. I love the vanilla one because it's kind of like having a root beer float almost. But I like the original Nitro Pepsi too. I kind of flip-flop between the two. I don't know if there's any more flavors, by the way. There might be, and I just have never seen them in Canada. Thank you again so much, JT Epsilon. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's like... Oh my god, these people. Anyways. Yeah, they, like... Men are sexual creatures, and now women are acting like sexual creatures too. Like, it's just the internet. Who cares? They're horny posting. Just bonk them. It's fine. That's perhaps even more disturbing, as somehow it's easier to understand the intention behind a misogynistic view towards women, as history is littered with infinite examples of it, than the systemic undercurrent of some men thinking that women are things or sex objects here simply for their gratification. Do you understand biology, woman? Do you understand biology? We're here to procreate. This is just natural, like, human instinct that you're getting upset over. They're not objectifying you. This is just the fucking, like... This is, like, basic, like, human 101. Woman, get over it. Also, infinite examples in history of misogyny. How many of those examples are actually misogyny? That's what I would love to know. I'm not saying misogyny doesn't exist at all. Maybe it does. Who knows? I tend to be like, no, it's all cringe. I don't think misogyny is really a thing. But, you know, whenever you say something definite on the internet, then people will get mad at you. So I'll just say, maybe it does. But typically, people are pretty good to each other. And if they're not, they're either joking or you just laugh at them. And that's it. So... Keep crying, retard. I'm not a sexualized person in my work. I've been careful to not post racy pictures of myself or sexualize the way I act, as I never wanted that kind of attention. It actually really creeped me out growing up. Not that I'm a prude, far from it. It's just not a nice feeling to find out that someone you don't know is feeling sexually towards you. Are you asexual? Are you asexual? I don't even really fully understand what asexual people do. But, like, do you not understand that, like, it's a compliment if somebody finds you sexually attractive? How do you expect to find, like, a husband or something if a stranger cannot be sexually attracted to you at any point? And at what, like... The whole growing up thing has thrown me off as well. Like, why did you have to add that in as a comment? What do you mean growing up? Like, if you're young at a certain age that you shouldn't be sexualized, absolutely that should be creeped out. That should creep you the fuck out. And that's a problem. If you're like 21 and a 25-year-old dude or whatever, or you're 23 or 30 and a 40-year-old dude, whatever, like, once you're an adult, if someone just lusts after you, that shouldn't be, like, such a terrifying thing to you. I've lost so many brain cells from this one woman alone. This one woman alone. Okay. It feels predatory somehow. Perhaps it's not even that. Perhaps it's simply that they think it's okay to act on those feelings, to lay it out right in front of you with no mind as to how uncomfortable or intimidating it can be. What is intimidating about it, really? They feel it, so why can't they say it? Surely it's the woman's fault for being sensitive. We should remember it is such a small percentage of men that behave this way online, although their voices are loud, so it does seem like more. Okay, wait a minute. We should remember it's such a small percentage of men that behave this way online, although their voices are loud, so it does seem like more. So why are you making this a problem if it's like a small percentage? Like, why has this become your whole like identity that you need to attack people? Oh yeah, isn't she like non-binary now? I don't fucking know. I'm so confused. I'm learning too much about this woman's sexuality, to be honest. I'm learning too much about this person's sexuality. I don't really care at all. It seems unfair for the men who then get tarred with the same brush. Well, you did it in your TED Talk that got taken down, that I tried showing off. You literally in that talk were like, oh, women act like this because men are like this, so then women are retaliating towards men. And like, you're the one perpetuating the stereotype that all men are like this, but then you're also saying, not all men. It's only a small percentage, but I'm forever a damaged human being and hate men because the small percentage of men, like, make up your mind. Make up your mind. Make up your mind, woman. Okay. When that innocent compliment you might make is met with hostility or suspicion, but don't blame women for that. Blame the men who are messing it up for everyone. Don't blame women for that. Okay? Blame the men who are messing it up for everyone by putting all women constantly on their guard. So it is a very small percentage. If we go back up here, we should remember it is such a small percentage of men that behave this way online. Blame the men who are messing it up for everyone by putting all women constantly on their guard. Is this not like textbook stereotyping? Is this not like quite literally sexism, like you were arguing is put towards you, to say there's a small percentage of a group that acts this way, therefore men as a whole are responsible for the actions of a small percentage of all of men? My brain's gone, guys. My brain's fucking gone. What the fuck? Okay. I don't judge the women who do sex it up a bit either. I think it should be about balance. Some women may want to be sexualized. I'm just a bit of a loss as to why it seems all successful. Oh, sorry. Is it her run-on sentences or is it my retarded brain? I think it's both at this point. We're both at fault here. Julia, it's your fault for being a retarded bitch, and I'm also a retarded bitch for reading this, but here we are. I can't read sentences right now. I don't judge the women who do sex it up a bit either. I think it should be about balance. Someone may want to be sexualized. I'm just at a bit of a loss as to why it seems all successful, talented women in the media end up having to get ahead. Am I sexualizing myself at all right now? I'm just sitting on a fucking chair with a microphone and I'm building a gaming community and I don't feel like I need to put my tits out in order to fucking build this community at all. Instead, I whore James out. That's what I do. He's in the room, so he's looking at me like, what the fuck? I whore James out instead, and Gengar shoves things up his ass. I guess we are using sexuality, aren't we?
Magenta!
I don't know if you heard him, but he yelled magenta. Shout out to Jake. Oh my god. Oh man. Why isn't Beyonce's voice good enough on its own? Hey, do you want to talk about this? Remember when Adele was overweight and everyone was like still loving Adele's music? And then she lost weight, and a lot of women got jealous of her and started insulting her. Isn't this the direct opposite of that whole thing? Like, Adele's voice has always been good enough. And we love, I mean, I don't know, I'm not going to speak for everyone. I think Adele's a great singer. I think a lot of other people do too. I think she did a great soundtrack for James Bond. I hate Daniel Craig, but, you know, it's like, I like Adele's voice. I never cared about her size or anything. And then when she got skinny, a bunch of people fucking lashed out at her because she wanted to be healthy and lose weight and take care of herself. So what does that tell you? I used to think that women who went down that road should expect that kind of unwanted attention. I have since revised that thought after seeing some of the messages a friend of mine who used to glamour model would receive. Who used to glamour model? I don't know, I'm too retarded. Some of the comments she'd get online, people should have been arrested for. Yes, what are people saying that they should be arrested for? Yes, she sexualized herself, but no one, I don't care who you are, what you do, deserves to be spoken to that way. It was borderline terrifying. The blog is a reaction to a problem I thought had disappeared. It is 2015 after all. But with the anonymity, whatever, anonymous people. Hi, Forking Around. How you doing, buddy? Anonymity of online interactions, we often see people's true motives and feelings. Whilst it's disturbing, perhaps it's better that it's out in the open where we can try to find a way to eradicate it for good. Isn't this the kind of language she's been using towards gamers? What is with this eradication thing that she's obsessed with? Anyone understand? What is that? What is that? Misogyny Monday might not change the world or even the minds of the men I have spoken about in this article, but hopefully it might inspire everybody else to join in and call it out when it does happen. If we can make it socially inexcusable on and offline, these people will keep it to themselves and hopefully we'll all be able to move forward to an internet where everyone is berated equally, not just for having a vagina. What the fuck? That is Julia Hardy. For those who don't remember who Julia Hardy is, that is Jules Hardy here. If you're curious how I found all of this, I will show you what I did to find all of this. I went to Linktree. I clicked this link. She had a whole speech on herself here. Jules is one of the leading voices for raising awareness for women's treatment within the gaming community, a previously notoriously toxic and dangerous environment for women, which led them to create a blog called Misogyny Monday to call out some of the more disgusting comments that they would receive and turn into something positive. So that is how I found that. And then I think the TEDx was mentioned in here at some point too. But yeah. Oh yeah. The popularity of that blog led to them being invited to Canada. Of course. Thank you, Canada. Fuck you, Canada. Holy fuck. To do a TEDx talk on sexism. There you go. So, that is Julia Hardy, Jules Hardy, whatever the fuck you want to call yourself. I'm done. I'm done with this woman. I can't. More like, yes, thank you, Forkin. More like Julia Retardy. Let's normalize Julia Retardy. I'm sure there's going to be a blog written about me at this point if I keep going, but that's fine. That's fine. Oh my goodness. Okay. I think I have about 30-ish minutes before, because James is going to be streaming the community event, and then we need time to set up the community event and all that stuff, so I will have to kind of bop off here soon. And there's a lot I want to show you guys. I'll show you guys this one, because it is a quick hit a little bit. But there's these are my bookmarks, guys. Like, there's a lot. There's a lot. And maybe we'll do another KO. Maybe I'll talk about more of this on the Melee Madness podcast. The whole point of this show is literally to try to limit some of the news. We talked about that one bitch for so long. Oh, here's a really short one. Okay. You know how, like, Jen Glennon called Jim Spanfler an herb? I didn't understand why. I didn't get why. And then I found out that it's like a fucking literary thing. So it's like, is Jim Spanfler a herb? Or Or is Jim Spanfler an herb? Because it can be a or an. So I think it's just a writing joke. So there we go. We've dispelled that. We understand what that is now. Another quick hit. GDC, for some reason, like on their badges, I noticed that they keep having these like tired labels. For some reason, I don't know. I keep seeing them like put on these little tired things. Tired times 2. I don't know what that was about, but I noticed that. Here is Nick from where is it? So he is the production at Ubisoft. Production manager at Ubisoft. Working on Assassin's Creed Red. I post on about game dev production gay shit. I enjoy mentoring. I'm bi and non-binary. I'm a massive lefty. Thank you. Very cool. Very fucking cool. Thanks. And then, same guy. Where is it? Here. Yo, GDC is next week. If you want to chat, production, mentorship, horror movies, or gay stuff, hit me up. Okay. So that's what's been going on at GDC. There's some other stories that are coming out of GDC. Apparently somebody got roofied. We can talk about that, I guess. Where is that? I have so many fucking stories here. And I think James said that they just wrote an article about that too, but I'll show you the original. No, this is a different thing. Oh my god. Oh yeah, here. So GDC, gaming event, as we know. Honestly, who gives a fuck about video games when we cannot have a single event without someone getting roofied? Hearing how Snow Ryu's experiences were also denied by the police and healthcare workers despite proof makes me so angry and so scared for my peers and myself. Events preach inclusivity but can't even do the bare minimum of keeping marginalized folks safe. Why does simply existing in this industry require us to risk our lives? I am so tired. I'm absolutely outraged to share that one of my boss's Hooded Horse president, Snow Rui, got roofied while at GDC. This is her story in which I'm helping to amplify. Yeah, this is awful. Like, no one should be getting roofied. This is just terrible. So I'm not really seeing a lot of people talking about this story yet, but it sounds like while we were live, like somebody had written an article already, whatever. I'm going to show you guys the original LinkedIn post, and then we can look at the article as well. But this is where I learned the story. Is I was just like randomly combing through GDC stuff and I saw this. I really haven't seen it publicized much though. Thankfully, she wasn't seriously hurt and my colleagues protected her from any further harm or injury. We're mainly appalled at how completely Snow was let down by the city of San Francisco. Snow wanted to share her story so people don't think the problems from last year have magically been resolved without issue. Clearly they haven't, and we echo the call of others who have asked the GDC organizers to consider a new city for future events. Just want to remind you that GDC is primarily an industry event. It's not necessarily for the fans, it's for the industry. This is an awful story regardless. I'm mainly showing this because there are things that do happen, and I do still want to point that out. I'm not saying everything's fucking perfect, but I feel for this person if this is what happened to them. So let's read their story. I was roofied while attending the Game Developers Conference GDC last week. This is not a new thing for GDC. Last year, GamesIndustry.biz reported that at least 4 women and 2 men had their drinks spiked across 3 nights and 4 events. And GDC had responded stating that they encourage reporting to the police and hope the perpetrators will be found. I'm going to tell the story of what happened when my friends and colleagues and I did everything possible to try to report the San Francisco police and emergency services and the complete indifference and inaction that resulted. What happened? Much of this story is from my dear friends and colleagues Abhishek, James, and Danielle, who protected me in every way possible when this happened. My own memory is blank from when the drug took effect until several hours later. My friends and I had been unwinding on Thursday evening at the lounge in our hotel where many GDC attendees stay. We were drinking approximately 1 drink per hour, and we had gone out to dinner before. None of us were impaired or showing any signs of intoxication. However, suddenly after a round shortly before closing, I began deteriorating. My friends said that I began to seem extremely intoxicated, and they became quite confused as to why. My friends quickly decided to walk me to my hotel room. By the time they walked me to the elevator, I was no longer able to reply coherently to their questions, and by the time we reached my floor, I was no longer able to stand or walk. My husband Tim met us in the hall. By the time we reached the room, I was vomiting uncontrollably and slipping in and out of consciousness, with Tim holding me to my side so I wouldn't choke on my vomit while Danielle called 911. I was taken to an ambulance while my friends spoke to the police. This is actually pretty horrible to read. I feel so bad for this person. Abhishek, James, and Danielle reported the full story to the police and offered up time-stamped text messages that indicated the window of time in which my drink must have been tampered with so that the police could check the security cameras. To their surprise, the police insisted that I simply was drunk. A fireman who had arrived with the police added, "There are only 2 drugs common in this area, fentanyl and methamphetamine, and she doesn't show signs of either. So it's my medical opinion that she simply drank too much." Apparently, date rape drugs like GHB and Ropanol are too uncommon to be worth considering. My friends stood their ground. They stressed they had been with me continuously that night and that we had only ordered drinks together, so they knew exactly how much I drank. Over and over, they told the story above, rejecting the police officers' repeated attempts to convince them to drop the matter. Finally, the officer gave in and said they would do an investigation. Abhishek demanded a phone number to call to check on the status of the investigation, and the officer gave him one. Meanwhile, I had been taken to the emergency room, and my husband, Tim, had followed. Tim related the full story to the hospital staff of what had occurred. After some time had passed, Tim asked whether the tests had come back on what I had been drugged with, and the hospital staff replied that no tests would be done. They said I had merely drank too much and there was no point running tests. Tim again stressed what had happened, and they replied that since he had not been personally present, he could not give them sufficient basis to doubt that I was anything other than drunk. Luckily, Abhishek and James had, as soon as they finished answering the questions of the police, rushed over to the hospital waiting room. So Tim insisted that the hospital staff speak to them to satisfy that requirement of having been personally present. Reluctantly, the hospital staff complied and went to speak to them in the waiting room, but after returning, continued to insist that they would not run any tests. As it turned out, the hospital staff only went to speak to Abhishek and James very briefly and didn't ask about or let them share any details of the night. However, after several further rounds of Tim demanding, they finally agreed to do the test. Tim confirmed with them multiple times that the test they would conduct would be for GHB, Ropanol, and other date rape drugs. When I woke up, I saw Tim speaking to a nurse. I asked what had happened and how I had gotten there. The nurse quickly replied, "You drank too much." I'll briefly digress from the story here to talk about what that sort of reply can mean. Waking up in this sort of circumstance with no memory of what happened, it's natural to doubt oneself. Did I do something wrong? Was it my fault? The power of those first words that attempt to fill in the hole of memory is great, all the more so coming from a medical professional, an authority you should be able to trust. Alcohol intoxication is what they wrote on my discharge diagnosis, but that didn't matter. I left with Tim having again confirmed their promise to call me with the results with the testing for GHB, Ropanol, and other roofies later in the day, and the plan of forwarding that to the police to aid in their investigation. This was the final Friday morning of GDC, but Tim had canceled all of our meetings. Abhishek and Danielle spent several hours just sitting with me and relating all that occurred, answering my questions and helping me feel safe. My friends had continued reflecting and discussing and had a few more potentially useful details to share with the police investigation. They planned to call the number they had been given and share with the detective. Tim and I had decided to leave early for the airport. I was feeling various awful symptoms unlike any hangover and just wanted to get home and see our dogs. Aftermath, or rather lack thereof. And now the story is almost complete because I already know the results of all this. From the airport, I called the hospital to get the test results. The doctor happily told me I had tested negative for cocaine, marijuana, and other common recreational drugs. Confused, I asked about GHB and other date rape drugs. The doctor said they had not tested for those. When asked about why they wouldn't test for the date rape drugs in my case, with all the background to it and with them having expressly agreed to do the test, the doctor just kept replying to that the test for GHB and other date rape drugs would consume too many resources. I wrote to my friends that what I had just heard and saw a message saying that when Danielle had called the police, they had told her that an investigator would not be assigned to begin looking into my case until 2 weeks later. By then, all GDC attendees will have returned to their homes across the globe. Final thoughts. What really scares me is this. This is the result when multiple witnesses have been with the victim every single minute and are pushing as hard as they can for San Francisco's police and emergency services to investigate and gather evidence. How much sooner would I have been dismissed otherwise? How many more cases like mine have been dismissed in the past? As to how I'm personally doing after all this, honestly, my strongest feeling is of gratitude and a sense of pride that I have these wonderful people as my friends and colleagues. James, Abhishek, and Danielle did everything possible to protect me. Because of them, this was just a night spent in the hospital and not something far worse. My God, that is just, it's a scary thing to go through. I'm glad she's okay, and it's insane. I mean, we all know San Francisco's a shithole, so it sounds like a lot of people are advocating for GDC to be moved somewhere else. But yeah, like I said, this was kind of something I found buried. This story came out yesterday, but I didn't see it until, I guess, like 6 this morning, and I was really digging to find stuff. So yeah, that's what happened at GDC apparently. Yeah, thought I would update you guys on that too. James did send me an article on it. I don't know if they have painted that article differently, but apparently that is something that was made recently after I found the story. So let's see. It looks like GameSpot has reported on this at 1 o'clock today. I'll catch up with you guys and then I'll look into this, but it's on the screen. So if you want to read ahead, go ahead. Because I'm probably going to skim this story. I mean, it's the same information, right? Okay. What are you guys saying? Omega Alpha says, who got roofied? Jeez. And then Jake said, getting roofied is less surprising than reeing. Jake said, I thought all of them were diverse leftist feminists. How could they be predators? It's awful that this happened to this person, and I truly hope they're okay. And I think that what a lot of people don't realize is they're creating an environment where there are predatory people. So that's my comment on that. Fractured says, at this point, it's all their own ilk. So they're roofing each other and doing shit things. You get what you want, I guess. I mean, yeah, it's all just awful. And I'm sure there's innocent people in all this too who don't want any of this crap going, you know, like diversity shit, whatever. But it's scary that like they're going to an event and like things like this are happening. And again, I don't know how to explain it, but I think you guys kind of get it. It's very much like they're creating a certain group and then these things are happening and they're still like, I don't think this person was shouting and blaming a specific side. I didn't get that vibe at all from her message. I think she was just grateful to be okay and wanted to share her story. But typically a lot of people witnessing these kinds of stories or sometimes going through them will then try to paint a brush and say that it's a certain group of people, but then they end up just constantly creating their own in-groups and it's still happening. Like, you know, it's bizarre. And yeah, BD Jake wants to remind us, and yeah, exactly what I was saying. GDC is not open to the public. It is for developers only. Exactly. And Ingrid Canadian says, my friend Dred Roberts has been covering stuff. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Omega Alpha says, it's not publicized because they don't want a bad rap. They manage GDC now, and it would hurt appearances if it became big. I guess GameSpot is making an article on it now. But again, maybe it took them time to find this. I have no idea. But I'm not seeing this story pop up much otherwise besides James now sending me this article and me doing like pretty deep diving. Like I was looking at accounts that were just at GDC doing casual stuff and I happened to find this and I was like, what the fuck? And I looked into it. So I really hope she's okay. Game journals don't do journalism. We know this. Yeah, true. And Omega says pretty intense. Yeah, it's fucking, like I said, it's sobering, man. It's scary. Jake says, this doesn't sound like Ropanol. This sounds like an accidental overdose coming from a former druggie. That is not a typical date rape drug. Okay, yeah. Omega says one of her friends, and Jake says, I just have a feeling it isn't Ropanol. Shaka Zulu saying, so she lied. I don't think she lied. I don't feel like this person wrote this story in a way where, you know, like they were trying to send a message or they were trying to get attention or anything. It came across very just like factual and just grateful to be okay. And it sounds like there were a lot of eyewitnesses, so it would be kind of silly, I guess, to lie about it, right? Jake says, no, she was drugged for sure. Omega says something else probably should get tested. Jake saying possibly a narcotic overdose. Jake says, I don't doubt she was drugged. I just think it was a narcotic overdose. Omega says she was drugged, so it must have been coming out in another further test. Wait, what? She really drank too much? I thought that something happened. Was this called I was roofied? Yeah, she's saying that she got roofied, but pretty much San Francisco was saying, no, you didn't, is kind of the takeaway I get from it. Kendon says, see, now I'm curious as to how much she drank. Yeah, anything I saw on that, there wasn't like a number or anything, and everyone's tolerance is different, so who knows, but it sounded like a sensible amount of drinks from how she's painting the story. I wasn't there, so it's hard for me to like comment too deeply, but yeah, that's what it sounded like to me, is that it was like a manageable amount of drinking. Omega says California being California makes sense now. Exactly, yeah. Shakazu says there's no report. She claims to be drugged. And Omega says those friends are suspect if she was drugged. Who else was nearby? Yeah, I mean, it's a public event. Or no, I shouldn't say it's a public event. It's an event that's large, so you're not like always around your friends necessarily. So it is entirely possible that somebody did it, right? Because it's like more of a mingling event, is a better term I should have said. So who knows? Jake says, in my opinion, I think she drank more than she said, but she was definitely hit with a narcotic, whether on purpose or not. Someone made her OD. Yeah, that's scary, man. Omega saying, those friends are suspect. Yeah, it's hard to say. I don't know. Jake says, look at a bar in San Fran. She could have even brushed her hand on a table that someone took a line off of. It would be enough. Omega says, we know creeps lurk in those groups. Wouldn't be surprised. Jake says, if she has no narcotic tolerance, it sounds like an OD to me based on time and symptoms. Yeah. Fucked up situation. Like I said, fucked up situation. Let's see what these guys are saying about a GameSpot. I'm gonna just kind of like cruise through this because, yeah, so what happened, as well as calling out the complete indifference and action of both GDC and the San Francisco Police Department. She was drugged. According to she was drugged Thursday, March 21, while unwinding at her hotel's lounge. Yeah. So Ryu stated that her and her friends were drinking approximately 1 drink per hour and showed no signs of impairment or intoxication. Sometimes it hits you fast. But I still think 1 drink per hour for most people, yeah, like, you should be fine. Yeah, it seems like it's really just restating what was already said in her blog post, so I'm not going to really bother reading through this, but that is to say at least GameSpot is covering the story, so that's good that people are putting her story out there. Like I said, I hope she's okay. And, like, look at this. It's you only have 3 thumbs up on, like, this is a big story to me. Like, that's awful. So, I don't know, you know. Just keeping you guys in the loop on stuff I'm finding. What time am I at? I'm at 4:52 right now. Let's see if I can get another quick hit in. What else I got here? We don't need to look at this anymore. I'm gonna start unbookmarking things. Fuck you. I hate this bitch, man. Yeah, okay. Well, I have this tweet already. Sorry, I'm just doing a little Janny cleanup, guys, while we're here. I don't really care about this woman's story. This woman was just going on about how, like, games is purely a business, not a lifestyle. And so you won't be thinking about the games you made or played on your deathbed, touch grass. And I just thought that comment was kind of out of touch because, yeah, obviously family and everything is really important. I'm not saying that they should hold a higher, like games should hold a higher value over that. But just the attitude of like touch grass. And the reason she's saying that is to this person saying, I was asked to do a podcast about why working in video games is the best thing to ever happen to me. I replied that becoming a father was the best thing to happen to me, and video games isn't even on the top 5. Then they blocked me. Gamers, please be normal. So, I don't know. I love video games. I think family, of course, is really, really important. But I just didn't like her, like, get a reality check type attitude to it. A lot of people are very passionate about games, and a lot of people identify with games helping them in their life. So I think it is really important to people. To me, it is a lifestyle in some senses. It's not purely a business. That's where I disagree with her. I don't disagree with the sentiment that, like, there are, things in life that are bigger than your hobbies. Like, of course, you love your family, the people that care about you, but I think games for a lot of people are a lifestyle. So we don't just think about it for dollar signs. We think about it because we like video games because how they impact our life, stories, all this stuff, So anyways, I just thought it was a bit of an out of touch comment. The way she goes with these people. I don't even know what this thing is, and I was going to dig into it, so maybe I'll say that for another time. But there's like some guy who said he was in a polyamorous relationship, but then he actually wasn't, and so he was just banging a bunch of women, and it's in like the TTRPGs or whatever, tabletops stuff. So this guy was just going around fucking everyone and saying, yeah, I'm polyamorous, and then all these girls found out, oh, he's not actually polyamorous. I'm gonna show you guys this. It is a video. I don't really see a point of sitting through the video, but this is something else that happened that's been really like under the rug as well. The Women-Led Games conference that happens from March 8th to March 10th. Watch YouTube take me down again, but whatever, who cares at this point? There was pretty much, so just to summarize what this is, because I don't think there's a point in sitting and listening to hours of these women talk about how much they love games and all this shit. But essentially this showcase was from March 8th to March 10th, I believe. And it's a women-led showcase, March 8th to March 10th, to celebrate women developers for International Women's Day. And so they do like a 3-part series, and it's got like only 170 views. Like, it's very small, but they have this whole like series essentially. And they're just talking about like, oh, I'm a woman in games and this is what I'm building, and it's really dull and boring. But the only reason I wanted to point this out is because of who's sponsoring it. I don't even know if it shows on this one. It might. Oh my god, I can see the live chat.
Is so incredibly proud to be supporting the Women-Led Games Showcase.
Okay, yeah, we don't care about Wings. Yeah, shut up. Okay, I'm just gonna pause on a screen. I'm just pausing on a screen. Devolver Digital is one of the main sponsors behind this whole Women-Led Games Showcase. So this is just to tell you guys that Devolver Digital is also funding this shit. This is the first time I've seen Devolver involved in this stuff. I'm not going to play the video. I don't think there's a point. You guys can sit through them later if you want. But Devolver Digital is a big sponsor for this like 3-day women's event. And I think the game is Reigns. Like, that's the one that they're representing in this. I think Reigns is Devolver. Reigns, Devolver. Yeah. I don't know if you guys remember this game, Reigns. Yeah, so this is by Nereal, and I guess, yeah, so they're a publisher for, Devolver Digital's publishing them, essentially. So this is the game that was represented there, and you guys might remember this game. I actually really liked the original game, and then they made a fucking female version, and I was like, oh, fuck this, I'm not playing this anymore. but they made like Her Reigns or something, and then there's like a Game of Thrones thing, and they started talking about misogyny and shit in this game, so I dropped like any expansions of this game, but I liked the original game. I thought it was a cool concept. It's actually really up my alley. And now there's like a mobile version of this game or something. So this whole thing, this whole showcase is like showcasing different women in games and how they build the games and why they build the games the way they do. And that's one of the games that comes up. Anyways, that's all that really matters on this story. Devolver Digital. There's 3 things here. So the first day is just like a general live stream, and they show off like trailers of the games, stuff like that. And then the second day is they're interviewing the people that made the trailers. And the third day, or made the games, I should say, not the trailers. They made the games, and they're just talking to them about it. The third day, they're talking to a bunch of content creators about it. So, either way, thanks, Devolver. That fucking sucks. It just, absolute state, man. Absolute fucking state. What else do I got in here? Women's History Month. Like, I keep finding all these fucking, like, women's events. This one's coming up on March 30th. Another women's gaming festival thing. Oh, yeah, this fucking person from GDC. Goodbye, GDC. Hopefully I'll see you next year. Always happy to chat with folks I met. 1 second. Drop me a DM with your Discord, and if other queer devs want to do karaoke next year, let me know. I thought it was cringe. Sorry, guys. My voice is gone. We talked about this guy already. We talked about the herb thing. Finally get that. I'll go into Limit Break another day. Oh my god. Okay, following up on that fucking story about the person getting drugged, okay? This is not the person that got drugged. This is just someone else commenting on it. But just the absolute state of people in this fucking industry. Devastated, as usual, to find people were sexually harassed and even drugged at a conference yet again. But I do want to say, this year's GDC was the first time I had not one single bad or creepy interaction, and I even broke my cardinal rule of not going into people's hotel rooms. Oh my god, who became a member? I love motorbikes. Thank you for becoming a member. Sorry guys, I'm like coughing. Oh my god, more people are becoming members. What's going on here? Gallows Glass? It's hard to read on the black and white. Anyways. Rufio. Oh my god. Rufio. Okay, sorry. Microphone's good. Fuzzy Wuzzy became a member. Why is everyone becoming a member? What's going on? Thank you so much, everyone. I appreciate it. Vanquish became a member. Wowza. It probably helps that I spent 85% having private meetups with people I love / I'm in business dealings with. The latter not always protecting against misconduct. But I do want to say it was fucking nice, and I walked away with such good vibes. I went away from conferences like Gamescom feeling sick. Spent hours getting very drunk in a hotel room alone with 2 men I trust, and we had the best, most wholesome time. Faith in humanity restored, to be honest. This is what I want for this world. Please don't try this at home unless you're very sure. So this is just like someone being a slut at GDC. It's like, okay, thanks. Cool. All right, we talked about women-led games thing. Okay. I think this is the one we're going to end on. So I'll go for like another, 30-ish minutes or whatever it takes. But I do have to relinquish the channel at some point because James is going live at 7 p.m. PST and I'm cutting it close. So thank you guys for being with me this whole time. Even when I had to switch streams because I got taken down and everything. I appreciate it. You guys have been awesome. And I hope that this was, I don't know. I hope it was a trip because it was a trip for me. And now you've enjoyed that trip with me. Okay. There was Black Voices in Gaming thing that happened during GDC. We had a great opening breakfast with some amazing devs for GDC. Huge thank you, official GDC, for the badges. Our top sponsor, Plastic Fern. Our next tier sponsors, Strange Scaffold, and all the rest for our amazing sponsors. All the rest of our amazing sponsors. At some point on March 19th, okay, so March 18th, this post comes out. March 19th, this guy, Xavier Nelson Jr. at GDC, won a Black in Gaming Indie Developer Award. Now, the thing that weirded me out, and we're going to watch the video, and if we get pulled down, whatever, you guys know where to find me. Strange Scaffold. I think it's Strange Scaffold. So yeah, Strange Scaffold is this guy's game studio. And they're a sponsor of this Black Voices in Gaming thing here. And then he wins a Black in Gaming Indie Developer Award. So I don't know if these are directly attached to each other, but I did see like intermingling tweets. And that's not even the main thing that I'm focused on here, because essentially you're just giving yourself a self-pat on the back if that's the case. Whatever. It's weird and cringe, and who cares? I think it's dumb that you have an award specifically for Black people in video games. Like, why are you separating this racially? I don't know. I don't know. But it's just like, it's all weird. It all feels weird to me. And so this is a story that I started going down the rabbit hole with, but I didn't fully dive into, because it's like, this is just all fucking weird. I don't know if this guy, because he's with Strange Scaffold, has involvement in Black Voices in Gaming, which has involvement with this award. I don't know if they're completely connected, but it all felt weird within the same time frame. And then he does this whole speech, which we'll listen to, and the whole thing just feels off to me. I don't like the segregated stuff. I think it's really dumb. I don't think there should be awards for being a female in gaming. I don't think there should be an award for being Black in gaming. I think everyone should be judged on the exact same level. You know, like, the fact that we're doing all of this, it makes no sense. And you go through like any of this stuff and you're just constantly finding things like this. Women's clubs, Black clubs, whatever. And it's just really exhausting. So this one stood out to me because of the weirdness here. But then he did this speech when he got this award. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Massive thanks again to Black in Gaming. And then what is it here? Oh my god. Sorry guys. Rolling through. BVI Gaming. Okay. So I don't know. There's just so many of these. I don't know if they're related. I don't know if BVI Gaming is related to Black in Gaming. But anyways. Let's listen to this guy talk about his award that he just won, and let's hope that Twitter's player work, because sometimes it doesn't. So let me know if audio sounds rough when I press play, but I'll turn this up a little bit for you guys. And volume's on. Good. Twitter. Oh my god, Twitter. Okay, 1 second, guys. Sorry. It doesn't want to play. Why? Play the damn thing. There we go. Okay.
Hi, everyone. I'm nervous, and I want to make most of my time, so I want to begin by thanking the Black in Gaming Foundation and acknowledging how you almost celebrated a corpse today. El Paso Elsewhere, our latest title, was rejected by publisher after publisher before going on to critical and commercial success across the globe last year. It appeared as a nominee for major awards and top game of the year lists next to games whose budgets and marketing spend dwarfed us. And this success didn't come out of nowhere. I've worked on over 90 games in the past 8 years and released 11 through my studio in Strange Scaffold in the past 5. And for all of that, when we looked for support in 2023, we found precious little. And while many unfortunately face this reality in 2023, this is one of the few stages where I can acknowledge, and I have to acknowledge, that this is not a rare occurrence for our people. The games industry uses Black music because it acknowledges that we connect with the world, and yet when it comes to funding Black-owned games, there's a sudden silence. The games industry uses Black aesthetics because it's become the shorthand for what it is to be cool, and yet when it comes time to promote Black professionals to direction and leadership, again, the industry is silent. When Black creatives come to the table with the full force of their creative vision and expertise apparent, they are glad-handed to death, told how important their work is and how valuable it is, while resources and visibility are placed elsewhere. So today I want to thank God, I want to thank my family, and I want to thank everyone who has made a material impact and provided support for my creative voice and expertise, because without you I would not be here. And I want to urge my people.
I want to urge my people. What do you mean my people? What do you mean you people? There's a part 2.
When Black creatives come to the table with the full force of their creative vision and expertise apparent, they are glad-handed to death, told how important their work is and how valuable it is, while resources and visibility are placed elsewhere. So today I want to thank God, I want to thank my family, and I want to thank everyone who has made a material impact and provided support for my creative voice and expertise, because without you I would not be here. And I want to urge my people, the disproportionately talented 2% of this industry, to flee the city that starves you. The games industry, despite rolling in profits, is cannibalizing itself by the days, harming developers, destroying player experiences. We see the headlines. Do not, I'm going to repeat this, do not lay yourself at its mercy. Do not depend upon its largesse. Do not, God. Do not play by its rules. Let's go. Do not play by its rules. Whenever and wherever possible, choose projects, scopes, and funding strategies that allow you to exist outside of systems that cannot even preserve themselves, because while we have learned abundantly in the last year that the games industry will not magically wake up and save us, I am more convinced than ever, looking in the face of this room, that we have the talent and vision to save each other. So let's make the amazing games our players deserve to play. And thank you again so much.
Man, I don't know. It was all just like kind of cringe. That's what my takeaway was from that. But I don't want to hear your stupid speech anymore. God, stop clapping. Stop clapping. Yeah, he seems very like out of touch. Is kind of what I felt with that. Take that as you will. So, I think I'm gonna start wrapping it up, guys, just so that I can, get set up for the next event that we're gonna be doing pretty soon. But what a ride. What a fucking ride we've been on. Should we get our music ready? Let's get our DJ and Paul music ready. Where is it? I don't have any of my tabs here anymore. Oh my god. Look at all this I got here. DJ Taxes? Who's DJ Taxes? Oh my god. There he is. Where's our playlist though? I think it's on our channel, right? I'll find it. You guys get to see me do. There, you're getting the whole behind the scenes. Isn't it fun? The behind the scenes. Oh my god, so many of you are subscribed now. 744. It's crazy. I will find this music list. I will not find it, apparently. Okay, well, I'm just going to play the music directly from DJ's channel. Thanks again, everyone, for everything. I'm going to put the goodbye screen on. It was great hanging out with you. There's so much going on in gaming. It's fucking crazy. Holy moly. Holy moly. But we're going to make it better. We're going to make it better. And we're going to see you guys in like an hour and a half here to play some fucking Battlefront. And I'm sure that's going to be a whole other thing. So thank you again so much, everyone. Hitting the screen. Hitting the music. Thank you so much, everyone, for hanging out today. Thank you to those of you who, oh my god, you guys like freaking were so generous today. And I'm sorry if I missed anything on the other chat, because as you guys know, I've lost it all because the other thing came down. But I want to thank JTE for gifting memberships and for the super chat earlier for the Nitro Pepsi. And I also want to thank a few other people as well. Let's turn this music down a little bit because, I mean, it's blasting, guys. It's blasting. I want to thank the real Melee K, which is definitely me, right? Totally. I want to thank Alyssa Merck. And no, I'm not going to your OnlyFans. Thank you, Gengar behind James, specifically. Thank you, Gengar the Great. And thank you again, Real Melee K. Have a great one, guys. We'll see you pretty shortly here.